What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk about Tom Holland's Nathan Drake. So yesterday was just a coming out day for the Uncharted movie, right? Roll out the red carpet, and my God, we actually got quite a bit of stuff. So I want to talk about pretty much everything that we learned, all the stuff we saw. I do have some theories about it and where the movie, the direction of the movie could be going. If you guys do like this video, I will, and actually, no matter what, even if this video gets 2 views, I will make more Uncharted movie videos. And I do get it, by the way. I know not everybody is on board with this. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the world's biggest Uncharted fan, but I'm the biggest Uncharted fan that I know. I adore this series. It's my favorite game franchise. It's my favorite just anything on PlayStation or any game in general, okay? So I do adore this series. I don't know how much more I possibly could, and I am also concerned about this movie, but everything we saw yesterday definitely gives me hope. Obviously, trailer 1 is insanely important, and so will be everything that comes after that. But so far, I would say so good. So again, if you guys do like this stuff, you want to see more, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turn on. Also follow me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15. If you guys haven't already, all my social media stuff is in the description below. If you guys want to check that out, my other stuff is there too. All right, so let's break this down. Nolan North first. Okay, so Nolan North was on set. We got to see that picture, and I mean, come on. Well, firstly, he's looking a little bit older, which is completely fine. I'm not going to like self-analyze. I'm not going to analyze the picture, but what I will say is this. There is 0% chance he's not in this movie, okay? He's absolutely going to be in this film. You don't go... I mean, yes, there are numerous examples of people that do go on set, and they're just there to say hi, or, they maybe know somebody on set. I mean, it happens literally all the time, okay? So I do understand that. I guess it's not necessarily a 0% chance, but look, he's been saying it for a while that, like, hey, Sony, put me in as like a cameo, put me in somewhere just as like a bystander. I feel like, again, even because of what we were talking about, right? There are a lot of people that are very skeptical of this movie, a lot of people not sold, to not have the man who literally did this, okay? Now, I mean, there's really no way of, like, doing justice to, like, when Neil Druckmann, or especially Amy Hennig, or even, like, Bruce Straley, she's the reason Uncharted is a thing. So, again, like, maybe you could have, like, all of them sitting at, like, a table, like having like, a meal when Tom Holland's Nate is, like, around or something. But, no, I really do feel like Nolan North is going to have a cameo. I know I tweeted on Twitter that, maybe he could be like an old... I mean, Look, Uncharted 4, they definitely took that extra mile to start to make the characters, and Naughty Dog's done that even with, like, The Last of Us, right? Last of Us Part 2, like, Ashley Johnson, Ellie looks a lot like her, okay? And Uncharted 4 was kind of that first attempt at that, where Nathan Drake definitely looks more like Nolan North than he ever did before, okay? So I'm not saying he will be an older Nathan Drake. I don't really know if that would make sense, but you gotta have him in this movie. Maybe you have him playing like Marco Polo or somewhere in like a water. You know what I mean? But you gotta have him in there. I feel like you gotta honestly hear his voice. Maybe you could even have like Tom Holland say something like, hey, that voice sounds familiar. Just something, even like maybe a little bit meta. I know the movie is probably not going for that, but just something fun, something to show. And this is, again, this is an example of you need to do these things, I think, for a film like this to bring about goodwill. I mean, you look at Monster Hunter. I'm not like the most, I don't like despise that film. I don't despise the idea of it, but I mean, a lot of people are not happy with it. A lot of people are not sold on it, and for, the right reasons. And, yes, they talked to a lot of the creators and they kind of ran ideas through, but this movie, I feel like, is doing it better and more complete. You have Nolan North giving his full approval. He was on set. You've had Neil Druckmann talk. Now, again, with the Neil Druckmann thing, we saw that a few weeks ago, that, like, Neil Druckmann gave Tom Holland, like, his blessing. I don't think that shouldn't matter in the slightest. Amy Hennig should be giving the blessing. I could care less about Neil. I mean, yes, obviously he was a part of it all, but again, this was all to not slight him. This was Amy Hennig's thing, okay? So I would like her approval on Tom Holland, but we got that. That was incredible. And then let's jump to the next biggest thing, Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. This probably should have came first, but I mean, my dear God. Now again, without overly analyzing what a man that's like the same same age as me looks like just in a costume. I mean, no, he looks good. He really looks good. He looks like Nathan Drake. I don't really, I do still see people that say like, or, it doesn't really, it still doesn't really stand out. I get it. Again, I mean, you could be as skeptical as you want. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm a channel of every single opinion. So if you hate the movie, if you think it's going to be average, if you love it, I'm here for all of that. Okay, I respect all that stuff. But what I will say is this, having my own opinion obviously matter. What I will say is I don't know what else could they possibly, I mean, yeah, like they could have a different actor, but like we have Tom Holland. What else could he possibly do at this point? You know what I mean? Now again, looks are not acting. Looks is not a personality. It's just literally visually, he looks like Nathan Drake. In fact, he looks like the Nathan Drake with like Uncharted 3. And I think that's always kind of been a place that I feel like this movie has kind of been aiming for. Well, we know that Tom Holland's even said they're going to show the scene where Nate and Sully meet for the first time, but that's a little odd because we already saw that scene in Uncharted 3. So we better see it exactly the same. Otherwise, I'm not, and that's an example. Like, I'm not going to hold back on this movie. If they're going to make mistakes, I'm going to call out every single one of them. That's just, I guess my passion level for, the franchise. But that looks a lot like him, like soon after Uncharted 3's young Drake, when he meets Sully, that looks a lot like him. So I am impressed. I'm impressed with how he looks. Again, it's just how he looks. So we need to see the first trailer to see the physicality, to see the jokes, to see that kind of, I don't know, like slyness, but like funny personality. I mean, even like Nathan Fillion in that fan-made, trailer, the fan-made, like basically short movie. I mean, he had all the traits. You know what I mean? Like face-wise, he did everything humanly possible where it's like, yeah, that's Nathan Drake. Okay, that's absolutely Nathan Drake. So that was awesome to see. Every time I think about that, I do get disappointed because I mean, that was incredible seeing, Nathan Fillion as that, but we got that. And the final thing is we got what looks like, I don't know, like a sword little like trinket pushed into the ground, so some sort of puzzle activities going on. Makes sense. I can't read too much into that because there's really nothing to read into, but we know there's going to probably, I would assume, be, puzzle-solving mechanics. There are in the games, right? Some of the games have some really, really intricate puzzles to solve, and they're really, really good, so that would obviously make... Now, it's going to be solved, I think, a whole lot faster in the movies, which is fine, and sometimes it even takes me a little bit too long to do it in the games. And then finally, we have a book, and this is Ferdinand Magellan. Now, I couldn't tell who that was, but obviously a lot of people broke it down. Very cool. So he's the one who circumvented the world, okay? And he was also, I guess, in his, I feel like his Wikipedia, he was also a pirate for a portion, let's say, of his life. He was in like the spice trading things. So I feel like they can do a lot of different things with that. I don't want to get too far into it because I do want to make a video all on its own on that. I do have some ideas. It's probably going to be a classic Uncharted thing where he either cheated when he was going around the globe. He maybe with the spices, he wasn't just doing spices. He was doing something like, remember, Uncharted is like real world history and things that the person did, but also either taking that to like an 11 and making it a little bit higher up there, or adding in an extra element. Like, well, they did do what the history books say, but they also did something else while they were doing it, or before they were doing it, or right after they were doing it, and that's what we're going after, okay? It normally has to do with money and riches and treasure, right? So you'd have to imagine, so, I mean, it could be like he was trading spices, or he was accumulating these spices, but at the same time, maybe he had like a personal collection of like gold or treasure or whatever, something like that, and that's what they're going to. Gonna be interesting. Gonna be really, really interesting. Remember, some of these games have played around with supernatural elements, and then some of them kind of have not. Mainly the fourth game kind of stayed away from it. 3 had some elements, but mainly like 1 was the biggest one, right? And 2, I would say, as well. So we'll have to see actually which angle they take on this one. If they're going to go supernatural, if there's going to be that kind of element to it, or if they go kind of more grounded in that, this is all somewhat, reasonable or somewhat real, right? So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What do you think about all the different things that we saw yesterday? Again, if you guys like this video, and like I said, even if you don't like this video, I'm going to be doing more Uncharted movie stuff as we get it further, and obviously we'll be reacting to the trailer, all that kind of stuff. This is a day one watch, whether it's the worst movie ever made or the best movie ever made. This is obviously actually a night one watch for me. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, have the bell icon turned on. All my social media stuff, my Discord, my Twitter, and my second channel in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.